Hello, Tycoon Online. This is Jay Chen, and in this video, I want to talk about the U.S. offices. If you don't know, the offices are different for Sweden and the U.S. version. I'm a little biased. Let's just put that out there. I prefer the U.S. version. The reason why I'm biased is because, well, I helped create it, so it's my baby. Don't get rid of it. But anyways, for those of you who don't know, I remember way back when, I think it was a couple years, maybe, well, it was probably a long time ago actually. Um, the original owner was a little upset that in the Swedish version, we after you hit 10,000 CV, you could build offices, and after that, everyone just built 25 offices, um, and it wasn't, I guess, what you want in an economy. So he, said, "Oh, let's do something about this." So I made a suggestion to use in-game demand to, to create office jobs, basically. And if you notice, that's what the U.S. version is. There's already there's already a small economy in Tycoon Online. So within that small economy, there are certain aspects of it that we can use to create demand. And that's what I like about it. One is that it's demand based. It's if you don't know this before, if you didn't know this before, all the goods produced in Tycoon Online are supply. The prices are based off of supply, and not demand. So it's very different. However, office prices are based off of demand. Um, so that's well, sorry, the prices are not based off of demand, but the demand is generated from the game, and you have to set the right price to get that demand. So it's different. Um, and so another reason why I do like it is that one, you can't just build 25 offices, um, because you won't get any jobs. There won't be that much demand for 25 offices. So you are forced to build other things. And by building other things, you're at somewhat interacting with the economy. And I think that's very important, especially early game when there is no economy and there aren't too many goods out there. You need to have more goods. So, and then all of that being said, though, I do feel like because a lot of new players and most of the majority of people don't really know how to really be competitive in the game, it creates the situation where there's people just building offices just because, hey, it's an office. I'm gonna build one, um, and I guess that wasn't my original intention of it. When I first thought about it, I was like, okay, you have office like this because offices can create a lot of cash, but they generate basically no CV, because you get 20 CV for each dollar. No, sorry, you get one CV for each dollar you gain, and you lose one CV for each $20 you spend. So if you build an office and you get a job and you get some money from it, and then you spend it, you're not gaining any net CV from that gain and then spent. Like there's no CV gain there. Um, the difference is in factories and shops when you sell or when you produce, you gain one CV per unit. So offices were never meant to be a long-term strategy. It was really just get your cash from your office and then that's it, and then deconstruct and then move on. Um, but a lot of people just hold on to their offices. And it's not a terrible idea, but I feel like the game runs in phases, and those who are ahead of the game, um, like for example, those in the top 100, they should be doing certain things, and then after they're done with those, they should move on. They should like stop building offices, and let the other from 100 to 200, those people also they should be building offices to make money, and then we can all sort of like rotate, in a way. And those who can rotate to the next phase faster usually would end up first. That's the way I imagined it. Um, so, but unfortunately, that's not the way it works. That's not what happens in the Tycoon Online economy. Most people just hold on to their offices. I mean, for one, I have one office right now, and it's getting really great jobs. I think it's getting jobs at 14.75 Yeah, it's almost at max. I had a 14.99 last night and didn't get any jobs, so I set it to 14.75. Um, but I think that's one of the best parts about this game is that if I had a lot of offices before, and I was getting jobs like 1,000 something, which is decent. I mean, okay, whatever. But I deconstructed all of them, and now I have one office, and now I'm getting really high jobs. So that really does show the demand, and how well you price things. So for that reason, and um, and something else I do want to mention. This might seem really irrelevant to the offices, but transports actually make a big difference in how the office system works. In the Swedish version, transports are a little bit more expensive. So you can't buy an airplane at $8,000, or KR kron, I think it's called. Um, so it creates a different dynamic because in the Swedish version, well, on both versions, transports are good for CV, and you need to hit 10,000 CV in order to build an office in the Swedish version. So an early game car is really crucial to getting that CV, whereas in the U.S. version, an early game car, like it gets you CV, yes, but there's no like 10,000 mark to hit. Um, so that's a big difference. And then also on that side, in the U.S. version, airplanes are cheaper. Airplanes only cost $8,000, whereas in the Swedish version they cost 32,000, I think. Yeah, and so that's a big difference. That's a really big difference. So in the U.S. version, you can get an airplane a lot faster. Um, but yes, anyways, so well, why is that important? Is because the prices of transports are different, and transports are pretty much essential to hitting that 10,000 CV mark in Switzerland. Not in Switzerland, in Sweden. Did I say Switzerland? In the Swedish version. Um, so that being said, I do think that it's been a good balance because since we created the offices, um, things have been going pretty well. People have been complaining about office prices all the time, no matter which version, U.S. or Swedish version. They will always complain about office prices, uh, and I think it's because they also, um, I think in the U.S. version, people don't really understand how it works because it's a little bit more complex than the Swedish version. Um, but overall, I still feel that it is a very good system. It it really does play into the economy very well, and you don't have this thing where everyone just masses 25 clinics, because, well, I mean, in the Swedish version, if you see that, there's really a lot of clinics everywhere, and that sort of, it's not bad, but I mean, if for a business simulation, it doesn't, like, for any business, it doesn't really seem like a good business model to build 25 clinics, um, for like a week. Basically, that's all you really need them for. You build them for 1 week, get enough money, and then deconstruct all of them. And I don't know. That just doesn't seem like that, like what like an economy should be like. And since the U.S. version uses in-game demand to create jobs, I feel like it's, well, I mean, you have this there, right? You have these jobs that could be created, but they're not in a sense. I mean, everything is all virtual, but I hope you get my idea. But anyways, that's my little spiel on offices. I know I'm very biased on it, so yeah, it's my don't touch it. All right. All right. See you guys later.